Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale, Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasa Gaur Bhakta. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasa Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadasya yatonvayaditarata charteshabhidnyah swarat tene brahmhridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Śrīmad Bhāgavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parairishvara Sadyorid avarudhyate tra kritibhihi Shushrushrubhistat kshana Nigamakалпатароргalitam phalam shukamukhadamritadravasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahaitu apratihata yayatma suprasidati वदन्ति तत्तत्त्वविदस् तत्त्वं यज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान् इति शब्दते. अतः पुंभिर्द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रमविभागशः स्वनुशिष्टस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम् एते चांशकला पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयं इंद्रारि व्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमभदवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तास्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः यस्यां वै श्रूयमाणायां कृष्णे परम पुरुषे भक्ति पद्यते सह शोकमोह भयापहा आत्मा रामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रन्था उरुक्रमे कुर्वन्तः हेतु किं भक्तिम् इत्थं भूतगुणो हरिः त्वयि मेरन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहताद् अद्धा गंगे वौघम उदन्वती. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. we will, by the mercy of Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, continue our study of Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and we are going to start from the 5th verse of the 7th chapter of the 1st canto. And just as a reminder, there are 10 modules in the Bhakti Vaibhava course. This is the first module, and this module has the first 9 chapters of the 1st canto. So text number 5. This chapter is entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam triguణాత్మకం paropi manute nartham tatkritam cha vipadyate. So the context is that Sri Shaunak Rishi asked Srila Suta Goswami that after hearing everything from Sri Narad Muni, what did Srila Vyasadeva do? And Srila Suta Goswami is replying that on the western bank of the river, the holy river Saraswati, in his cottage, Srila Vyasadeva had his ashram, surrounded by the berry trees. And he sat down after doing achaman, and he sat down meditating upon what he had heard from his Gurudev Sri Narad Muni. He fixed his mind through Bhakti Yoga on the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. Now we come to text number 5. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam triguణాత్మకం paropi manute nartham tatkritam cha bhipadyate. Translations and purports by our most beloved and revered founder Acharya, Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Shtottar Shata Shri Śrīmad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Suta Goswami is saying, due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the 3 modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product. We are living in a material world and I am a material girl. Some nonsense Western song. People identify themselves with matter. We are living in a material world and I am a material girl. And people pay money to buy such albums and listen to such faltu songs, such mundane songs filled with illusion and falsity. This is due to the external energy, due to the Maya Shakti of Krishna. Day before yesterday, in the previous session, we read that Krishna has multifarious energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. There are many, many Shaktis of Krishna. Principal are 3. It is the internal potency, the Antaranga Shakti, the Jiva Shakti, all of us, that is the Tatastha marginal potency, and the Bahiranga Shakti, external potency, through which this material world is manifested. Material world is a very small part of Krishna's creation. It's a dark cloud in the spiritual sky. The spiritual world is way bigger. So the external energy overpowers the marginal energy. Even though the marginal energy by its swarup is meant to serve the internal energy, but under the influence of the external energy, the jivas, they become bewildered and they start identifying with matter. By association with matter, they start identifying with matter. It's all the power of association. There is a very wonderful story in this regard, my dear friends, a Puranic story. Please listen carefully. Srila Suta Goswami is speaking to Shaunak Rishi. And there is a Puranic story about Shaunak Rishi. Once Shaunak Rishi was traveling through the forest and it was raining and it It was dark and the night fell. Very, very dark. First of all, it's raining. So even there is no starlight and there is no moonlight. It's completely dark. It's raining. And they wanted to seek shelter in some ashram. But in the forest, deep forest where they were traveling, Shaunak Rishi only found the house of a hunter, Vyad. And this hunter had gone on a hunting expedition and there was no one in his house. So Shaunak Rishi, along with his associates, they decided that let us take shelter in the house of this hunter for one night. Anyway, he is not there. So there will be no bad association. Or so they thought. So they took shelter in that ashram, not ashram, in that cottage of that hunter. We saw in the previous session that ashram means a place, whether it is brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasi. But ashram is a place where there is ashray, Krishna ashray, where one has taken shelter of Krishna. So this was not an ashram. This was a cottage of a hunter in the forest. Shaunak Rishi and his associates, they took shelter in that ashram. And there was nobody there except the hunter's parrot. And the parrot was perched near the ceiling of the hut and was constantly chatting, the parrot. And in its parrot voice, the parrot was uttering bad words. Gali. Obnoxious words, harsh words, bad words, cuss words. And Shaunak Rishi and his associates, they closed their ears. What is this? This is highly polluting. Highly polluting. We don't want to hear such harsh and bad words from this hunter's parrot. It will spoil our consciousness. So being very disappointed, they left that cottage. It is better to get wet in the rain, fall sick, rather than having the association of such a third-class person as this parrot, who is uttering such obnoxious words. So they braved the rainstorm and they kept walking, searching for some shelter. But to their utter dismay, the parrot kept following them and troubling them by uttering those bad words loudly. So they were very, very disappointed, but they kept going, trying to get away from the parrot. And then they finally found an ashram of a rishi. And with great pleasure, Shaunak Rishi and his associates, they took shelter in the ashram of the rishi. And there also there was a parrot. But this parrot was in the association of the sadhus right from the birth. So this parrot was chanting, Krishna, Krishna, Radha, Radha. Beautiful, sweet names of Radha and Krishna. And Shaunakadi rishis, they became so happy, so enlivened. All their fatigue, they were drenched, they were shivering, they were feeling cold, but all their miseries went away as soon as they heard Krishna Naam, Radha Naam from this parrot. And the Puranic literature tells us that these two parrots, they were actually siblings. They were born to the same parents. One was brought up by the hunter and one was brought up by the sadhus. And just see the association, the difference the association made. One was uttering bad words and one was uttering Shuddha Naam, Radha Naam, Krishna Naam. This is the power of association. Similarly, just like these two parrots who are Sahodar, they are born from the same mother. All the jivas, they come from the Tatastha Shakti, the marginal energy of Krishna. We are Vibhinna Amsha. Krishna gives rise to all the Vishnu Tattvas, but they are Swamsha, Swa Amsha. But we are Vibhinna Amsha. All the jivas are Vibhinna Amsha because we are from the marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti. So all the jivas are from the Tatastha Shakti, but some are Nitya Siddha and some are Nitya Baddha. Just like these two parrots. One parrot is a devotee, one parrot is demoniac. So we are all Nitya Baddhas, my dear friends. We are in this material world, so we are Nitya Baddhas. But there are Nitya Siddha devotees also. They are jivas just like us, but they never forget Krishna. And this is the power of association. So we should always seek the association of devotees so that instead of taking shelter of material energy, we take shelter of internal energy. That is what Krishna says. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivi prakriti ashrita. You have to take shelter of daivi prakriti. That is antaranga shakti. Srimati Radharani. So here it is said, due to this external energy, what do? The living entities, although we are gunatit, we are transcendental to three modes of material nature. Although we are gunatit, we think ourselves as material products. We consider ourselves tri gunatmakam. Although we are tri gunatit, we consider ourselves tri gunatmakam. We consider ourselves as material products. And then what happens? Tat kritam chabhipadyate. Then all the laws of material nature apply to us. And we enjoy and we suffer. And we enjoy and we suffer. And we enjoy and we suffer in this material world. Repeatedly. We are trapped. This material world is called Maithuna Agar. It is a prison house, Durga, of lust. This is a prison house of lust. And what is the specialty of this jail? There are no shackles. There are no walls. There are no locks. There is no security. But this is such a special jail, my dear friends, that no prisoner wants to escape. We are enjoying, we feel we are enjoying in this jail. Sadhus come and say, chant Hare Krishna. We say, no. But let me enjoy. Let me enjoy. Even in our family, we see certain family members don't want to associate with us. Why? Wo to devotee ban gaya. If we associate with him or them, our sense gratification will go away. Then we cannot eat in restaurants. We cannot watch cinema. Then for vacation, we have to go to New Vrindavan and Gitanagari instead of Caribbean cruise. So no, we don't want to associate. There are family members, they don't like to associate with us because they feel their sense gratification will go away. Because they are identifying with the material nature. That is the beauty of this jail that Durga Devi has created. ऐसा jail बनाया कि कोई कैदी भागना ही नहीं चाहता. Imagine a jail where the prisoners don't have any desire to escape. Even if someone says, run, you are free. No, why should I leave this wonderful jail? I am being hit by punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, but still I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy sense gratification. Nobody wants to go. What a wonderful jail. Can we ever create such a jail? No, we spend so much money on maintaining the prisons, security. There are jailbreaks. You see, in Alabama, that prisoner escaped. And now 1 week ago, in Tennessee, 3 prisoners escaped. And now there's a manhunt going on. All over the road, there are billboards. Have you seen them? They're armed and dangerous. Call the FBI, call 911 if you see them. But this material world is such a prison that even the judges and the ministers and the entrepreneurs and the doctors and the engineers and the millionaires and the billionaires, they are all prisoners. But nobody believes that they are prisoners. Everybody thinks I am happy. This world is meant for my enjoyment. They are thinking. It's like a prisoner thinking this jail is meant for my enjoyment. The government has created this jail so I can enjoy for my comforts and luxuries. We are being whipped by janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. But still, foolish as we are, we don't realize it. That this is not where we belong. This is called identifying with matter. Atmanam trigunatmakam. We consider ourselves material. We are living in a material world and I am a material girl. This is a famous song. Don't look it up. Don't Google it if you don't know. Purport. In the third sentence, Srila Prabhupada says, the living being is by constitution transcendental. Transcendental means spiritual. But the living entity is now imprisoned. See, imprisoned. This is a jail. We are imprisoned by the external energy. And therefore, he thinks himself one of the material products. And due to this association with matter, the pure spiritual entity suffers material miseries under the modes of material nature. Please look at me. Listen attentively now. Many times devotees ask, oh, when will this Maya leave me? There is so much lust, there is so much envy, there is so much anger, there is so much greed, so much pride is there, so much false ego is there. These anarthas are never going to leave, or what? Have any of you wondered like this? Raise your hand if you have thought like this. When will Maya leave me? When will Maya leave me? We all grapple with this problem. When will that day come when Maya will leave me? Would you like to know the answer? Our acharyas explain. The answer is never. Maya will never leave us, because Maya has not caught us. The question of leaving comes when somebody has grabbed us. But actually, if you see in Tattva, Maya has no power to catch the spirit soul. We are spiritual. Maya has not caught us. We have caught Maya. हमने पकड़ के रखा है माया को. We are so fixed up in our nonsense philosophies, in our nonsense desires, unholy desires. We are holding on to Maya. And our acharyas give, the Srila Prabhupada gave the example of the monkey. Who knows that example? Raise your hand if you know the example. How we have caught Maya, not otherwise. Yes, Ramsham Prabhu, please go ahead.
So monkey, keeps his hand in that, for taking the grains in that pot, and he holds that grain, and he try to take the hand out, but he unable to, because he is grabbing the grains.
Yes.
Once he lifts that, then his hand will be out.
Yes. Thank you, Ramsham. Very nice.
We have to leave Maya.
We have to leave Maya. Yes. And who we have to grab? Krishna's lotus feet. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budhau. We are grabbing onto the sense objects. Vishaya chadiya. We have to give Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha bemana kabe amaheribo Shri Vrindavan. We have to leave. So imagine there's a pot with bananas inside, like Ramsham Prabhu saying, and a monkey comes, likes bananas, he puts his hand. Now because he's holding in a fist and he's holding the banana like this, imagine this is a banana. Then when he tries to pull out, the opening of the pot is narrow. The monkey's hand is not coming out, and the hunter is coming to catch the monkey. He wants to escape. But if only he lets go of the banana and does this, whoop, he'll be free. So we are holding on to Maya. Maya will never leave us, because Maya has never caught us. We are soul, and Maya is material. It's a bhinna prakriti. Whereas according to Bhagavad Gita, we are superior energy. But the problem is we are associating with matter, and we are considering ourselves material products. So we have to give up the Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha habeman, and we have to hold on to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Sadhu sangha sarva shastra. Like that. That will be the end of our suffering. Further down in the purport, next page, Srila Prabhupada says, now this is very important Siddhanta. The Lord does not desire that a living being be illusioned by external energy. Now please raise your hand. Who can explain why Srila Prabhupada is saying that Krishna does not desire that a jiva remains illusioned by the external energy? Krishna does not want us to be in illusion. How can Prabhupada say this? What is the proof? Raise your hand if you can answer this question. Yes, Sharanagat Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what I understood is that Krishna is coming again and again, taking so many avatar and incarnation on this earth. He's coming to, take us back home, back to Godhead. So that proves that he wants us, back home and not in this material world. Yeah.
Perfect answer. Everybody understood? Perfect answer. If Krishna wanted us to remain in illusion, why would Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita? Why would Krishna speak Uddhav Gita? Why would Krishna come? Why would Krishna say, Paritranaya sadhunam, I'm coming? No. He would, Dharma samsthapanarthaya. He's coming to establish Dharma. And how many times in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, you come to me, you come to me, you come to me. Mam eva shashi, satyam te pratijane priyasime. Mam upetya punarjanma naiti. So like that. So Krishna wants us to come to the spiritual world. Krishna does not want us to remain in the external energy under Maya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can we understand? Yes, Prabhuji, can we understand this by this also? That like we are the son, part and parcel of Lord, and like father always want their children to come back to his home.
Yes.
Can we understand this also?
Perfect. Absolutely. Shantaradikanta is giving such a nice reason that Mama Amsha, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are Krishna's Amsha. We are Krishna's part. So naturally, loving father wants us to come back to him. So yes, very good reasoning. Actually, in the Holy Bible, there is a famous story of anyone knows? Raise your hand if you know. Nobody knows? Yes, Shama Vallavi Mataji.
The story of the prodigal son.
Yes, the story of the prodigal son. Yes, very nice. The external energy is aware of this fact. Now, Srila Prabhupada is saying Krishna does not want a living entity to be under Maya. And Maya is aware of this fact. Please listen carefully, my dear friends. Please pay attention. Srila Prabhupada is saying Krishna does not want the Jiva to be under Maya. And Maya is aware of this fact. But still, she accepts a thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. Hari Bol. You understood? Krishna does not want us to be in the material world. Maya knows what is Krishna's desire. But still she has accepted a service to keep us in this material world. Why? Srila Prabhupada will explain. The Lord means Krishna. Krishna does not interfere with the task of the illusory energy. Means Maya. Krishna does not interfere with Maya's doings. Why? Because such performances of the illusory energy, Maya, are also necessary for reformation of the conditioned soul. Haribol, we need Maya to purify us. If there are impurities in gold, how do you purify them? Anybody can tell? If there are different metals mixed with gold and we want pure gold. Yes, Sundari Gopi Mataji, how do you purify gold? Matajis are very eager to answer this question about gold. Yes.
Heat it, so that the impurities are separated.
Yes. Yes. Very good. We have to put them through fire. We have to put them through fire so that the impurities will go away and we will get pure molten gold. So similarly, a jiva that needs purification has to go through the fire of Maya. So many trials and tribulations in this world. And this is there in Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatam. Can anyone tell what I am referring to? Raise your hand if you know. In Brihad Bhagavatam, Krishna tells someone, oh my dear devotee, how much? Yes, Sundari Gopi.
Gopakumar, Krishna tells Gopakumar.
Yes, very nice. Krishna tells Gopakumar when he reaches Golok Vrindavan, oh my dear Gopakumar, how much trials and tribulations you underwent in the material world. You went through so many defeats, so much insult, so many hardships. Now finally you are with me. Now, don't have to worry about anything. So Krishna does not interfere with Maya because the tests of Maya are required for us, for our reformation. In America, the prison system, what is it called? Department of? Unmute and say.
Correction.
Yes, Department of Corrections. His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj is the ISKCON minister for prison preaching. Very important service. So these jails are not just meant for punishing the miscreants. They are meant for punishing the miscreants, yes. But through that punishment, they are meant to do two things. To discourage others from committing crimes, because they know if they commit crimes, there will be punitive punishment. But on the other hand, for the persons who have committed the crime, the jail system is meant to ultimately correct them. So that when their incarceration is over, when they are released in society, those criminals are good citizens. So it's called department of corrections. Similarly, this material world is a department of corrections. All the rebellious souls who have Ishwar Buddhi, they want to become little Ishwars, although they are meant to be Das, Jivara Swarupa Krishna and Nitya Das. But they want to become Krishna. They want to become Vasudev, like that Pondrak Vasudev, the false Vasudev. We are all like that. So Krishna wants to correct us. He wants to cut off those arms that we are artificially sticking and going around. So this is the department of corrections. This reformation is required. That's why Krishna does not interfere with our suffering. Devotees sometimes say, oh, I'm going to so much suffering. What is Krishna doing? Why Krishna is not interfering? It is for our purification. Like gold, impure gold has to go through the fire. Pure gold does not have to go through fire. It's pure. But impure gold like us, we have to go through fire. So every suffering is purification. How? Can somebody explain how every suffering is purification? Raise your hand if you can explain this Siddhanta. Yes, Shyamamchidhari Prabhu, you want to answer? You are unmuted. How every suffering? Okay, Amrit Karan Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the one. Just I am giving one example. I am trying that Radharani told to her Sakhi that rainy season that Brish I forget actually.
Prabhuji, you just mentioned the name of Srimati Radharani.
Yeah.
So your answer is already perfect.
Meghachono Ratri se Durdin noy, Vishnu Katha Bihin se din Durdin. Means the cloudy and rainy night is not actually our bad night, but without Krishna's Katha, without hearing, not hearing about Krishna is actually bad time, bad night for us, like that.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. So, whenever we suffer, my dear friends, we suffer because of our previous sins. So, when we suffer, those sins are getting cut off. All our bad credit is being paid off when we suffer. And when we enjoy, how are we enjoying? We are enjoying because of previous punya. So when we enjoy, our previous punya goes away. So that's why when we suffer, it is purification. Purification because our sins are getting cut off. The burden of sins, which keeps us in this material world, is getting reduced. And then we have more possibility of doing Dridha Vrata Bhakti. Tetu antagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridha vrataha. When our sins are put to an end, then we can do Naishtiki Bhakti, fixed up devotion. So therefore, suffering in this material world is the process of purification. That's why when some devotee is suffering and we say, Prabhu, I'm so sorry you are suffering. Generally the devotee will say, no, Prabhu, it's okay. This is for my purification. This is the meaning. That our previous sins are getting cut off through those sufferings. An affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent. Yet he puts his disobedient children under the custody of a severe man just to bring them to order. Sometimes a teacher will punish the children, or a private tutor will punish, or a nanny will punish. The parents don't want their child to be punished or chastised, but sometimes that is required to correct them. So similarly, we belong to Krishna, but Krishna puts us under the teacher called Maya, who chastises us and punishes us. Instead of being with Radharani, we are with Durga Devi. Durga Devi is the teacher, the nanny. She's like a mother, but she's not the real mother. The real mother is Radharani, loving mother. Albeli Sarkar, the most loving mother is Śrīmati Radharani. But we have left Śrīmati Radharani. So therefore now we have to get corrected by the nanny. That is Maya Devi. But Maya Devi is going to refer us back to Radharani through purification. We'll realize that, oh, this world of Maya Devi is a horrible place. We want to go to Krishna and Radharani. That is the perfection of our life. The king puts his disobedient citizens within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoner's relief, personally goes there. And on doing so, the prisoners are set free. Now, please listen carefully. Pay attention. Who creates the jail system? The king. And who is imprisoned in the jail? The criminals. Does the king belong to the jail? No. The king belongs in the palace. He's enjoying. But does the king occasionally visit the jail? Yes, he'll go. Surrounded by his soldiers and bodyguards, and he will inspect everything. And everybody will do salam, salam. They will salute the king. And king will go inspect everything. Everything is nice. Now, there is something called as mercy also. Sometimes even in today's world, there is a presidential mercy. You remember? When the president leaves the White House, the term is over and the next president is coming, there is a period towards the end of a president's term where the president can forgive and release prisoners from the jail who have good behavior. You see? I clearly remember when there is a change in the president in US, there is a period where the president can exercise his presidential powers and just release some prisoners from the jail. No questions asked. Even in India, the president of India can sometimes forgive a prisoner who is on death penalty. Correct? So this mercy is there. Huh?
We call clemency.
Clemency, yes. Mukta Sangha Prabhu is clemency. There is a law of clemency. But the president or the king can do that. They can forgive. So sometimes the king will come. Now listen carefully. Sometimes the king will come to the prison. And the king may forgive certain prisoners and release them. Or the king may ask, what do you want? Correct? Now if king comes to the jail, first of all, it is rare that the king will come. Doesn't come every day. And asks us, we are all prisoners, asks us. We offer our namaskar to the king and the king is pleased. He says, all right, Ādi Gadādhara Dāsa, what do you want? I can fulfill your desire. And I tell the king, I don't like the soap that they give me in the jail. Can I get a nice fragrant soap? The king will say, all right, no problem. He will ask, Ramsham Prabhu, what do you want? Ramsham Prabhu is very intelligent. He will say, Maharaj, free me, please. I want to be a good citizen. Please free me. He will fold his hands like this and say, please free me. And the king will say, yes, very intelligent. Okay, you are free. So Ramsham Prabhu will go home. And I will be bathing in the jail with a better soap. So the moral of the story is, when the king is asking, what do you want? We should ask for the highest thing. Not ask for, give me a better clothes in the jail, better soap, better toothbrush. No, those are temporary things. If you get released from the jail, you get all that automatically. You go to your home, there is nice soap and hot khichdi waiting for you and a hot glass of milk. And so you don't have to worry about all that. So we should be after bhakti. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaya mama janmanishware bhavatat bhaktir ahaituki. We want ahaituki bhakti. Unconditional devotional service, pure devotional service, uttama bhakti. That's what we want. That's why we chant. That's why we are going to observe Ekadashi Vrat tomorrow. Tomorrow is Nirjala Ekadashi. That's why we are reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, this Bhāgavatam Swadhyaya. We are studying Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, studying Srila Prabhupada's Tika for purification, so that we are praying only for pure devotional service, nothing else. We just want to serve Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Seva Pao, Ei Abhilashi. Nothing else. So we should ask the highest from the king. One who surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna is set free by the order of Krishna, by the order of the Supreme. It is very difficult to escape from this prison, but one who surrenders to Krishna can escape this prison. What verse of Bhagavad Gita is this that Srila Prabhupada is referring to in this purport? Yeah, let me ask someone else who has not answered. Quick, come on. Not Ramsham Prabhu, not Sharanagata Mataji, not Amrit Karan Prabhu. Someone. Yes, Ananta Vilas Prabhu. verse?
Prabhu, Daiviyeshu Gunamaya.
Yes, very nice. Daiviyeshu Gunamaya Mama Maya Durattaya Mam Eva Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti. Very nice, Ananta Vilas Prabhu. Thank you. Mam Eva Prapadyante. One who surrenders to me. Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Now see, day before yesterday in the previous session, the question came of Sharanagati. Somebody asked, I'm forgetting, one Mataji asked, how do we get that Sharanagati? I think it was Kalindi Priti Mataji. How do we get Sharanagati? Srila Prabhupada is talking about Sharanagati here. One who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord is set free by the order of the Supreme Lord. This surrendering process is the remedial measure. Remember, we were talking about Sharanagati. We're talking about sadhana, we're talking about Sharanagati, and we're talking about Bhagavad Prapti, attaining Krishna. Sharanagati. Srila Prabhupada is saying this Sharanagati, surrendering process, is the real remedy, not sadhana. Sadhana is meant to lead us to the point of Sharanagati. Surrendering process is completed by the influence of association. So one may say, how do I get Sharanagati? That was the question of Mataji. How do we get Sharanagati? Association. If we associate with Sharanagat devotees who are surrendered, then we will also get Sharanagati. There are so many examples of this. How devotees get Sharanagati by the association of Sharanagat devotees. So Srila Prabhupada is saying the surrendering process is the remedy for all the problems, number one. And how do you get surrender? Surrendering process is completed by the influence of association, which means we have to get influenced by higher association. We have to agree to become influenced by higher association. Because we can be in higher association and still have a covering, a shield around us. We will not get influenced. No. We have to do bhajan, we have to do sadhana, which will prepare our heart for Sharanagati, and we should get influenced by the Sharanagat devotees, the surrendered devotees. Then we will get, then our surrenders will be completed by the influence of association. Further below, it is said, conditioned souls are being reclaimed by Krishna both ways, namely by the process of punishment by the external energy, tadan, punishment, and by Krishna himself as spiritual master within and without. So Krishna is reclaiming us, taking us back home, back to God in two ways. One is through punishment by Maya Shakti, and number two, through spiritual guidance as our spiritual master within and without. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains who are these two spiritual masters. Chaitya Guru, Antaryami, is Krishna guiding us internally as Paramatma, and then the initiating and instructing spiritual master, Diksha and Shiksha Guru, externally. Within the heart of every living being, Lord Krishna himself is present as Super Soul Paramatma and becomes a spiritual master. And from without, from outside, he becomes spiritual master in the shape of the scriptures, like Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. They are our guru, the scriptures, the saints, sadhus, and the initiating spiritual master, guru. What is the common thing we use, these three names? Guru, sadhu, shastra. See, Prabhupada is saying, scriptures, saints, and spiritual master. Guru, sadhu, shastra. This is where it comes from. Now, 2 paragraphs below, Srila Prabhupada, it's a very big and beautiful purport, but in the interest of time, we are taking the essence. Srila Vyasadeva, therefore, first of all, diagnosed the actual disease of the conditioned souls. Yes, Ramsham Prabhu is saying, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavat is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and Gita is Bhagavad Gita. Srila Vyasadeva, therefore, first of all, diagnosed the actual disease of the conditioned soul. What is that? That we are being illusioned. By who? By external energy. He saw both the diseased conditioned souls and also the cause of the disease. Why Srila Prabhupada is writing all this? Because remember, few verses before we saw Srila Vyasadeva in his meditation had darshan of Krishna, and Krishna was accompanied by his Shaktis, and one of the Shaktis is Maya Shakti. So Srila Vyasadeva saw all this, souls conditioned by Maya, and he saw the remedial measures also, which Srila Vyasadeva is going to suggest in the next verse, verse number 6. Anarthopashamam sakshad bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya janato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. The remedy is given in this verse. Very important verse. The material miseries of the living entity which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. Bhakti yoga. Yoga means to link, and bhakti means devotional service. By the linking process of devotional service, bhakti yoga. But the mass of people do not know this. Avidya. They just don't know about Krishna consciousness. We did not know before we came across the devotees, before we came across Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada's followers. So the material miseries can be mitigated through bhakti. This is the Siddhanta. The material miseries can be mitigated through bhakti, but people don't know this. That is a problem. Ignorance. And therefore, the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is in relationship to the Supreme Truth. Bhagwan and Bhāgavatam. Bhāgavatam means that which is related to Bhagwan. Srila Vyasadeva compiled this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Why? So that we can get relief from this material miseries through Bhakti Yoga. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is preaching Bhakti Yoga, pure devotional service. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes a few sentences down. The remedial measure for the conditioned souls, namely the process of devotional service. The remedial measure is devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. Here clearly it is said, Anartho Pashamam Sakshat. Upashamam means shaman karna, to mitigate, to destroy. What? Anartha. Artha means that which is desirable. Paisa. In the common parlance, artha means money. So artha means that which is desirable, and anartha means that which is undesirable. So all the undesirable things are mitigated by Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti for whom? Adhokshaje, Krishna. Revival of the dormant affection or love of Godhead. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Revival of Krishna Prem does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting. Now please pay attention, this is very important. Revival of Krishna Prem does not depend on the mechanical system of Shravanam Kirtanam. So we should not think that just by chanting and hearing mechanically, we are going to get Krishna Prem. Srila Prabhupada is saying, revival of the dormant affection or love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting. Milahina Raghupati Bina Anuraga Koti Janma Japa Tapa Vairaga. Revival of love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting. Milahina Yadupati Bina Anuraga. Koti Janma Japa Tapa and Vairaga. No, we cannot get. Prabhupada is writing. Love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting, but it solely and wholly depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. Causeless mercy of the Lord. When Krishna's mercy is there, then it is possible. Krishna Anugraha is required. The mercy of Krishna is required. Without Krishna's mercy, mechanically we cannot do. Okay, I have chanted so many rounds. Now Krishna has to give me. Kali Santarna Upanishad says if you chant 35 crore times Hare Krishna Mahamantra, yes. So I have chanted. Now Krishna, come on. We cannot order Krishna, Baba. Krishna is not our servant. We are Krishna Das. Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Das Dasa. We cannot purchase Krishna with our bhajan. No, we cannot. Krishna's mercy is required. And Krishna will give his mercy only when we practice pure devotional service. And pure devotional service is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Pure devotional service is Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishna. Pure devotional service is Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim, Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaya. Pure devotional service in its purest form. In that form where Krishna, Bhagwan big jate hai. When Krishna is completely Aham Bhakta Paradhina, Krishna is sold out. That devotional service is Ashlishyavāpādaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidhatu lambato mat prananathastu saeva napara. Purest devotional service is Krishna. You may do whatever you want with me. You can embrace me. When I embrace your lotus feet, you can crush me under your lotus feet. You can completely neglect and ignore me. You can make me broken-hearted in whichever way you want. You can give your mercy to everyone else except me. You can do whatever you want, Krishna. Mat prananathastu saevanapara. But I will never leave you. Like a chatak bird, waiting for that raindrop from the cloud, I'll wait for you. Like the chakor bird, looking constantly, undeviatingly towards the moon and nothing else, I will be sitting. Like the moth, the insect that has so much affection for the fire, that rushes towards the fire. Krishna, I will come rushing towards you, even if it is going to burn me. That is not my worry. This is the highest love that Srimati Radharani is teaching. Ashlishyavāpādaratam pinashtumam mat prananathastu saevanapara. Even if the dust from my feet can relieve Krishna for one moment of his headache, take it, Narad Muni. Take it, take it, take it. It's okay if I have to eternally go to hell in exchange. Take it. This is pure devotional service. It is only through Uttama Bhakti that Krishna comes under control. Anurag. So we have to give up attraction to this material world. What is attraction for the material world called? Rag. We are ragi. We have rag for the material things. Enjoying with our indriya. Indriya and Vishay. We want to enjoy. The one who has attraction for this material world is called a ragi, because he has rag for material objects. But the process of Krishna consciousness means we have to become Vairagi. Ragi means attraction for material things. Vairagi means one who does not have attraction for material things. We have to become Vairagi. And after becoming Vairagi, by Krishna Kripa, we become Anuragi. Krishna Anuragi. Where we develop love for Krishna. And then we can get Krishna. So we are Ragi, we have to become Vairagi, we have to become Krishna Anuragi. Krishna lovers, Krishna Premi Bhakta. Mechanical process will not work. We cannot dictate to Krishna, Krishna, I have done this, now give me this. No. Krishna is not controlled. Krishna is controlled through humility. Krishna is controlled through prem. Krishna is controlled through sadachar, through seva, through the sincere desire to be das, das, anudas. That is the only way to please Krishna. When Krishna is fully satisfied with the sincere efforts of the devotee, Krishna may endow the devotee with his loving transcendental service. Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate divya jnana hriday prakashito yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. But even with the prescribed forms of hearing and chanting, there is at once mitigation of the superfluous and unwanted miseries of material existence. But one should not think that mechanical chanting and hearing is useless. It is not. Srila Prabhupada is saying, love of Godhead does not depend on mechanical system of hearing and chanting. It solely depends on causeless mercy of Krishna. Causeless mercy. Not Krishna, give me mercy because I have chanted so many rounds. Give me mercy because I have done so many upas, fasting. No. That love of Godhead depends on Krishna being pleased with us. Only when Krishna is pleased, he will give us pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service even controls Krishna. But mechanical hearing and chanting has some benefits. And what is that benefit? It will purify us. Anartha nivritti will happen, even with mechanical chanting. And anartha nivritti will slowly lead to nishtha, to ruchi, to asakti, bhav, prem. So right now we are doing mechanical hearing and chanting, and that's okay at this stage. Do it. We have to do it at this stage. But we should know what is the aim. The aim is not mechanical. The aim is spontaneous. Raganuga bhakti. Knowledge is dependent on devotional service for the ultimate realization of the supreme truth. It is not that I will read and I will get knowledge and therefore I will get Krishna. No. Jnana karmadi anavritam. In fact, Gyan and Vairagya are byproducts of Bhakti. Janayatu asu Vairagya jnanam chatat ahetukam. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prachodita. Like that. Verse number 7. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Upadyate Pumsaha Shokamoha Bhayapaha. This is a memorization verse. Verse 7. Simply by giving oral reception. Shruyamanayam. Oral reception for what? For Gramya Katha? No. Oral reception for Krishna Katha. Krishne Paramapurushe. Krishna Katha. Krishna Varta. Machchittamadgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantas shamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. The feeling of loving devotional service to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Shoka moha bhaya. And apaha means it is destroyed, it is extinguished. The fire of cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadava agni nirvapanam. This fire of shoka moha bhaya, it is extinguished. Apaha. How? Simply by shruyamanaya. Krishne paramapurushe. Bhaktir upadyate pumsa. When in the living entities there is sprouting of bhakti, then naturally our lamentation, our illusion, and our fear will go away. The other day I was talking to one very wonderful devotee, and she was telling me that she knows one devotee who is just an ordinary average devotee like all of us. And one day she got a news that her husband has got very advanced kidney failure. Very advanced kidney failure. And the doctor said, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to dialyze, we have to. But many times devotees, when they face crisis in their life, because they are sincere devotees, they get Sharanagati. They take complete shelter of Krishna. Therefore, our acharyas have repeatedly said that the difficulties and the different setbacks that devotees face in this world are actually bringing them closer to Krishna. So when this couple, they have no children, the young couple, when they got news that the husband has kidney failure, they were living in Bombay, he had a job and everything. He said, please take me to Vrindavan. Our Ananta Vilas Prabhu was asking day before yesterday this question about Dhamvas. There are different limbs of bhakti. What is that? Hari Kirtan, Vaishnav Seva, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vasa, Śrīmurti Ra Shraddhaya Sevan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells these are the 5 main limbs of bhakti. Krishna Kirtan, chanting the name of Krishna. Vaishnav Seva, serving the devotee, associating with devotees, Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Kirtan, Sadhu Seva, Bhagavat Shravan, and listening to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Mathura Vasa, Śrīmurti Ra Shraddhaya Sevan. Mathura Vas, living in Mathura Mandal means Vraj Mandal, living in Vrindavan. And Shraddhaya Śrīmurti Ra Sevan, with faith, serving the deity of Krishna. These 5 are the most powerful limbs of bhakti. There are 64 limbs of bhakti mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, but these 5 are the most prominent. One of them is Dhamvas. So this devotee said, please let's go to Vrindavan. I want to spend the rest of my life in Vrindavan Dham. So they left all their home and everything. They sold their property, resigned from their job in Mumbai, and with their savings, they went to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, the whole Dham is Chintamani. And Srila Prabhupada, specifically for us, for the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has created an oasis, a very special oasis. This whole material world is like a desert, and Shri Vrindavan Dham is the only oasis in this world. Shri Dham Vrindavan, only oasis. And Srila Prabhupada has given us entrance to this oasis. And in this oasis, there's a very beautiful palace called Krishna Balram Mandir in Ramanareti. And there, we have Radha Shyam Sundar, Lalita Vishakha, Radha Shyam Sundar. We have Krishna Balram, we have Gaur Nitai, and we have Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir is there in this temple. Shripad Ayandar Prabhu's Bhajan Kutir is there in this temple. So many advanced devotees have done bhajan there. Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu. And so many other great devotees, they have done bhajan in this Krishna Balram Mandir for years. So much Hari Katha has been spoken. So many great souls have visited Krishna Balram Mandir. So those Parmanu, those spiritual particles, the vibrations, the divine vibrations, they are eternally resounding. When Shripad Ayandar Prabhu left this world, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj said that every brick, every corner of Krishna Balram Mandir is vibrating with the Shuddha Naam that Shripad Ayandar Prabhu sat and chanted here for years, for 2.5 decades. So this Krishna Balram Mandir is there, and this couple from Mumbai, they took shelter of Shri Vrindavan Dham, and this was their Dinacharya. Please listen carefully, their timetable every day. They're living in Vrindavan very simply. They rented an apartment. For 5,000-10,000 rupees per month, you can rent an apartment in Vrindavan close to Krishna Balram Mandir. Every morning they would wake up at 3:30. They would do their morning duties. They would take their bath, shower, and then they had a rickshawala. They had a rickshawala that they had contracted with. Simple rickshawala. And he would take them in the morning at 4 o'clock to Krishna Balram Mandir. And they would attend the Mangal Arati, both the Mangal Artis. In Srila Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir, Samsara Dava and Vaibhava Shesha in front of Radha Shyam Sundar. Then they would sit and chant their 16 rounds after doing Tulsi Puja. This is Shri Vrindavan Dham. And during Mangal Arati, during Brahma Murta, you are doing so much bhajan. And then they would do Vrindavan Parikrama, which takes a couple of hours. They would attend the Bhagavatam class in the temple. Then they would go home. They would take prasad, they would go home, and then they would take some rest. And in the afternoon, they would again come back to the temple and do seva. They would do seva there in the temple. There are so many services in Krishna Balram Mandir that are to be done. So as residents of Vrindavan Dham, they would do seva. Evening again, they would attend kirtan. There is 24 hours kirtan going on. Just imagine, 24 hours kirtan is going on. They would attend the kirtan, and then at night they would come back. By 9:30, they would take rest. Again, they would wake up at 3:30, sleeping 6 hours. And they lived like that in Vrindavan. After some time, Prabhuji left this world in Shridham Vrindavan. And any devotee who leaves their body in Vrindavan goes back to Godhead. Is guaranteed. So just like all these processes of bhakti are there and they have their own potency, living in Dham also has its potency. So one can go back home, back to Godhead simply by leaving one's body in Shri Vrindavan Dham. This is the Siddhanta of our Shastra. So this Prabhuji, he left his body. And now what did Mataji do? Even today she is living in Shri Vrindavan Dham. And she has the same dincharya, same timetable. She wakes up in the morning at 3:30, gets ready. She has the same rickshawala. She goes to Krishna Balram Mandir. She is there for Mangal Arati. She attends the full morning program, Tulsi Arati, chanting japa in front of Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir, and then attending the Bhagavatam class, takes some prasad in the temple. She does seva at the bookstall. There are bookstalls in Krishna Balram Mandir, and they need volunteers who will do seva. So she does seva. Very simple life. Takes prasad in Krishna Balram temple. Goes to the flat to sleep. Take rest. And all day she is there. There is 24 hours Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan going on. What more does one want? Dhamvas, Krishna Katha, Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Naam, and beautiful deities. And you have got seva in Prabhupada's house of distributing Prabhupada's books. Hari Bol! Does it get better than that? She is living. And she said, I will never leave Vrindavan. I want to live and die here. This Mataji is going back to Godhead in this very life. She's entering Golok Vrindavan in this very life for sure. Why? Because she's such wonderful Vaishnavi. She has nobody with her. But she has made her lifestyle so simple and so nice that she's living alone in Vrindavan. There is no family member. She has no children. She has no husband. She has no father. Alone she is living doing bhajan. But she has taken shelter of Vrindavan Dham. She has taken shelter of Radhesham. She's for sure going back home, back to Godhead. Akhanda Vrajvas, Naam Bhajan, Vaishnav Seva, Guru Seva. Life is perfect. So like that, we should take inspiration from such examples. These are positive examples. The heart becomes joyful when we hear such examples. And every gully, every lane, there are such wonderful devotees in Vrindavan Dham. You see, in Atlanta, if we see one sincere devotee, we feel happy. Oh, very nice devotee. In Vrindavan, every house, there are advanced devotees. That is the special feature of Shri Vrindavan Dham. That's why Shri Vrindavan Dham is different from Atlanta or any other city. Mumbai. These places can never be like Vrindavan Dham. It is impossible. We can remain in the association of devotees. We can do this, do that. But there is only one place like Shri Vrindavan Dham. There is no other place. And Srila Prabhupada, as our Acharya, has taught us that we should try our best to live in Vrindavan as much as possible, to serve Vrindavan, and to finally leave our body in Vrindavan. Our Acharyas have taught us this. So like that. We'll stop here. We covered till verse number 7. Just let me finish this purport. Please bear with me because we did not read the purport. There are various senses of which the ear is most effective. Srila Prabhupada is saying that when we are sleeping, all our indriyas are not working except ears. Therefore, alarm works. So, ears are awake even when the body is sleeping. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam. Therefore, the importance of hearing. We are sleeping in this material world. We are asleep to the spiritual truth. Therefore, we should hear. Hearing is most important. Therefore, the first limb of Bhakti is Shravanam. Simply by hearing the message of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, one gets attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Next paragraph. So, by hearing, we will get attachment to Krishna. Example, the Yajnapatnis. The ultimate result of devotional service is to develop genuine love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the ultimate prayojan? Prem prayojan. The purpose of practicing bhakti is to become mad in love with Krishna. Krishna Premi. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and woman. Prabhupada is going to say something very interesting. Please read. Love is a word which is often used in relation with a man and woman. And love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate relation between Krishna and the Jiva. Bhagwan and Bhakta also love word is used. The living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in Bhagavad Gita. And Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. In Sanskrit language, Prakriti is feminine gender. The Lord is always described as Parama Purusha. See, in the previous verse here, Krishna was described as Purusha Purnam. Verse number 4. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihite Male Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chadat Apashrayam. So Krishna is Purusham Purnam or Parama Purusha or Purushottama. So Krishna is Purusha and we are Prakriti. Krishna is supreme male personality, Purush. Thus the affection between the Purush, male, Krishna, and the Jiva, living entity, Prakriti, feminine, is something like that between man and woman, male and female. Prabhupada says. Therefore, the term love of Godhead is quite appropriate. In fact, this is the only appropriate use of the word love. The word love that we use in the material world is false. It's wrong. It's misuse. It's a misnomer. It is not love. It is lust. Atmendriya priti ichha dhare kama naam, Krishnendriya priti ichha तारे बोले कृष्णेंद्रिय प्रीति इच्छा धरे प्रेम नाम आत्मेंद्रिय प्रीति इच्छा तारे बोले काम. That is काम. Atmendriya, satisfying one's own senses, is काम. Satisfying Krishna's senses is prem. Prem is like gold, pure gold, and काम, lust, is like iron, rusted iron. Srila Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it's quite appropriate. Next paragraph, a living entity develops a sort of complexity by material association. Our problem is material association. So we should avoid material association. We should associate with sincere devotees of Krishna. Material body is accepted as an actual fact. Dehatma buddhi. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Even in the most developed stage of human life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divides the loving relation with Lord and thereby divides the loving relation between man and man. So because we have Deha Atma Buddhi and we think we belong to this piece of land, we belong to this community, that country, people are fighting because there is no Krishna in their life. Krishna is not in the center. Therefore, there are fights. You see Palestine, Israel, India, Pakistan. You see Ukraine, Russia. All over the world, there are conflicts because people have Deha Atma Buddhi. They consider I am body, this body belongs to this tract of land, this community, and everybody else is enemy. By hearing the subject matter of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, this false complexity of this ism, that ism, materialism is removed. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam teaches us Ultimately, Jivera Sarup hai Krishna Ra Nitya Das. Next, last paragraph. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring about peace in the society. We have so many peace conferences, we have negotiations, we have United Nations. Is there peace in this world? No. There are wars, international wars, and even within countries, there are shootouts, mass shootings going on. Why? Because the mind is diseased. And Śrīmad Bhāgavatam teaches us to become pure devotees. And therefore, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the answer to all these problems. The problems can have different names: gun violence, mental disorder, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, this Hindu, Muslim, this, that. Different names are there for violence and problems in this world. But the solution is the same: to become Krishna Premijan, to develop love for Krishna. And if we develop love for Krishna, we love everyone. One cannot love Krishna and hate one particular community. No, because everybody is Mama Amsha Jiva Lokajiva. If we love Krishna, we love everybody. So there will be world peace. The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. So therefore, one must read and hear and study Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. From verse number 8, we will continue on Tuesday. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. We can quickly go through questions. Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Jagat Pradam. Thank you for your wonderful class today. I have no question, but I was able to connect to that nice example you gave of a devotee couple in Vrindavan who lost, the Prabhuji passed away in Mataji. So this is exactly matching my own god brother and god sister, Raghupati Prabhu and Padmini Mataji, who came from Mumbai to Vrindavan about 5 to 6 years back. Mataji had a very good job in income tax department, and she quit because Prabhuji was undergoing, high diabetes situation, and after coming to Vrindavan, within a year, he had to undergo dialysis almost 3 times a week, and from she used to take him to quite a far place hospital, and eventually last year, he left his body, and just before leaving his body, he went to His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damaswami Maharaj Samadhi Mandir, and he prayed to Maharaj that I don't want to continue in this suffering situation. So you please, take me in your eternal seva as soon as possible. And after that, within a week's time, he left his body. And Mataji is doing a glorious service in Matchless Gift Shop under Devi Shakti Mataji's, guidance. And they are such a wonderful, both were wonderful, inspiring couple. In fact, they were one of the inspirations for us to come to Vrindavan also. And yesterday we met Mataji, and she looked so blissful that she feels that now there is no baggage. And she was quoting one senior brahmachari telling her that now you are like a brahmachari. You can just forget everything and do completely engrossed in your seva, and then you can go back to Godhead in this lifetime itself. So that's you were rightly mentioning about the potency of the Dham. And I could see that because we know this couple since almost 20 years now. And I can see the complete transformation because of the Dham's effect. So just when you said the example, I thought actually of mentioning about them, but then I realized it could be some other couple as well. And there could be many such couples. So this was another couple that I remembered. So I thought I will share this. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Shamchandra Prabhu, for sharing this wonderful example. Hare Krishna. Sundari Gopi Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, so if we have good savings, can we stay in Mayapur Dham or Vrindavan Dham like that?
There is no difference between Shri Vrindavan Dham and Shri Mayapur Dham.
I mean, we go there because they say you should not live there more than 10 days or yatra time only you should stay.
That is in the initial stage, in the initial stage of bhakti, because we may commit offenses. Okay. But as we become more and more serious in Krishna consciousness, and especially if this desire is coming in the heart that I want to do Dhamvas, then either Mayapur Dham or Shri Vrindavan Dham, they are non-different. So we should take shelter of any of these dhams, either Shri Mayapur Dham or Shri Vrindavan Dham or Shri Jagannath Puri Dham. These 3 dhams are the main holy places for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And if we have the savings and we can live a nice simple life, by all means we should go. The only thing is we should be under the guidance of some senior devotee who can guide us nicely how to live in Vrindavan. One should not venture without the blessings and permission of superior Vaishnavas. So we should have some superior Vaishnava who can guide us.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. But it is so difficult to get guidance from seniors, because always they are busy with something. Always, it's very hard to stay connected to counselors and all.
Where do you live, Mataji? Which country?
Pittsburgh, Prabhuji.
You're in Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh. Okay, so you're very close to New Vrindavan.
Yeah, we are. All weekends we are in Vrindavan for services.
Oh, yes. I know. Now I
ओळखलं to me.
नहीं मैं एकदम confused झालो. Sorry. I am a conditioned soul. Bewildered झालो थोड़ा. हाँ, ठीक है. So yes, Mataji, it is not difficult to get a senior devotee association. If you simply pray to Srila Prabhupada will 100% within a short time he will connect you to an advanced devotee who can guide you.
Okay.
Can guide you. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Prabhuji, it also happens that when you stay in Vrindavan, there only you can get the guidance of senior devotees who are staying there.
Yes.
Like you get connected with them and they can guide you. It is not necessary that we get the guidance from the very beginning only.
No, what I was saying is to make that decision whether to go or not, one should be under the guidance. So if Mataji is asking, Sundari Mataji is asking if she can go. So I'm saying to make that decision, you need to first discuss with your spiritual authority and they can guide you whether you can make that step of moving to Vrindavan permanently. And of course, we need the guidance of senior devotees, how to live in Vrindavan, how to do our bhajan. And that you can find when you go there also. Or the senior devotee who is helping you now can guide you then also, like that. But even before you make that decision and you move, you should do it with the blessings and the permission of an advanced devotee. That's my point. Don't do it without the blessings and permission of an advanced devotee.
Okay.
You know the story of Indradumna Maharaj, who became Gajendra in his next life?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So his problem was, he was Indradumna Maharaj, he was Chakravarti Samrat, but he took sannyas without any guidance of a superior Vaishnava. He just developed renunciation, vairagya. He gave his kingdom to his children and went to the forest, built an ashram and started living there and doing bhajan. Very sincere. But the only problem was he didn't have a guru. He didn't take permission before becoming a vairagi. So when Agastya Rishi came, he said, hey, you are without any permission, without being an anugatya of any senior devotee, you are just sitting and doing bhajan here, sitting like an elephant. You did not even receive me. A sadhu is coming to your house and you are not receiving properly, sitting like an elephant and doing bhajan, become an elephant. So he fell down, Indradumna Maharaj. He had to become an elephant. But of course, because of his bhajan and his sincerity, he didn't have any ill motives. He became not Gaja, but Gajendra, the king of elephants. Very powerful. And he, at the time of his death, he remembered all his previous bhajan, Sukrati. So like that. So one should be under the guidance. That is the point. Go to Vrindavan with the blessings and permission of an advanced devotee. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Kalindi Priti Mataji, go ahead, please.
I was having same question, Prabhuji. So living in Dham is like, so we have so many, I have so many anarthas and family members also has to accept and everybody has to agree. And in Dham, it's very hard. And if you have anarthas, it's like, so how can we live in Dham?
Yes. So that's why we need to be under the guidance of an advanced devotee who knows us, who can counsel us, guide us, and direct our activities. So we become purified by doing sadhana, correct? Sadhana leads to anartha nivritti. Bhajana kriya leads to anartha nivritti. Living in Vrindavan itself is a bhajan. Living in Navadvip Dham is itself a bhajan. And remember that there's 5 limbs of bhajan, 5 limbs of devotional service. So just staying in Dham itself is a bhajan. That itself purifies us. So one should not think that I will become purified and then go to the Dham. Staying in Dham itself purifies us. The Dham will be revealed to us when we become completely pure. Vishaya chhadiya kabe shuddha habe man, tabe ame heribo Shri Vrindavan. We can see the real dham after we become purified. But living in dham itself is purifying. That's why it is one of the limbs of bhajan, one of the 64 limbs of devotional service. So one should go to Vrindavan, but if the family is not allowing or somehow it is not possible, circumstantially, we should develop a desire that at least in the future I want to go. I want to retire and I want to die in Vrindavan. I want to do bhajan in Vrindavan. And or Sri Navadvip Dham, they are non-different. Or we should make our house like Vrindavan. We should have Tulsi Maharani, we should have deities, and we should have such a dincharya, such a schedule in our house as if we are living in Vrindavan. So hearing Hari Katha, attending satsangs as much as we can, and we should have Vraj in our house. Always we should keep Vraj. Whenever devotees are coming from Vrindavan, we should request them, bring some Vraj. And every day after bath, we should apply Vraj on our body. Every day we should take some Vraj. We should eat. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had such Guru Nishtha that every day he would take a small piece of Raj from Kumarhatta, the holy birthplace of his Guru Maharaj, Shri Ishwar Puri Pad. And Sri Madhavendra Puri, every day he would eat a small piece of mud from the pot of Khirchor Gopinath. Khirchor Gopinath stole that pot. So he ate that kheer and he kept the pot with him. And every day he would take a small piece and eat. Madhavendra Puri, Shripad Madhavendra Puri. So like that, whatever is our Ishta Dev and the Dham of the Ishta, we should keep it very close to our heart. And we should maintain such connection. Vrajraj is not different from Vrindavan Dham. So we should apply Vrajraj. We should, Ladini Mataji, Prabhupada disciple, worshipper of Jagannath, she used to eat Vrajraj every day. Every day. Wherever she went, she carried Vrajraj with her. She went to Vrindavan only once in her lifetime. Only once. Never got a chance again to go. And she took Vrajraj with the permission of Brajvasis, and every day she would eat Vrajraj. Every day she would sprinkle Vrajraj in her khichdi and eat wherever she went. So we should maintain connection with Vrindavan Dham through Vrajraj, through Krishna Katha, through Krishna Nam, by hearing about such devotees who are living in Vrindavan. And that way we should remain inspired, and we should always have ambition that someday I will go to Vrindavan. Someday I will go to Vrindavan. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, I have another question, Prabhuji. So regarding, so devotee has to be like regulated and proper everyday same time sadhana and all. So I'm struggling with that, Prabhuji, like getting up same time and sleeping on same time. It's not happening for me, like because of lack of sincerity, or I don't know, Prabhuji, please guide me. Because of other service or office work or some other work will be there, and I'll sleep late, and getting up also sometimes 4, 5, 6, some these things are happening, Prabhuji. I don't know what to do. Is it because of lack of sincerity or lack of planning? Yeah.
So what we should do is, we should make a timetable. What time I will wake up, what time I will do my morning duties, what time I will do my morning chanting, Bhagavatam reading, Ashtakams, hearing, and then our duties like job, office work, cooking, taking care of spending time with children, spending time with husband. So all these things we have to write down, and we should keep it in a place where we can read. So we are on track. We may not be able to follow it exactly, but at least we have some estimate what we have to do. And important things in the day that we have to do: chanting, reading, hearing, puja seva, Shri Vigraha seva. These are the 4 important things that we should do every day: chanting, hearing, reading, and seva. So these should be performed and every day. So it should be on our timetable. And before we start our japa in the morning, Brahma Murta japa, we should pray to Krishna that Krishna, thank you for waking me up today. This Brahma Murta japa is a gift from you. Thank you for this gift of Brahma Murta japa today. Thank you. And then sincerely we should chant for 2 hours. And then when we finish our chanting, then we should thank Krishna. Krishna, thank you for allowing me to chant during Brahma Murta. Krishna, please, can you give me this gift of Brahma Murta japa tomorrow also? Please, please. If you sincerely pray like this, before and after, pre and post japa prayers, 100% you will wake up. Even if the alarm doesn't go off, you will wake up. And also we should try to avoid eating dinner. Then it's difficult to wake up in the morning. I'm saying from my own experience. So pre-japa prayer, post-japa prayer, praying to Guru and Krishna to wake us up so we can do our bhajan nicely. And it works.
Please bless me and pray for me.
Mataji, you are hundreds of times more advanced than me.
No.
But I will pray for you. I am not qualified to bless at all, because you are much more superior and advanced to me. Hare Krishna. But I'll pray.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji, then Navina Radha Mataji. Okay, Naveen Radha Mataji, you can go ahead. Shama Kishore Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice class. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful classes every day. So, Prabhuji, I have one question. We discussed that in this, like we are suffering. When we are suffering, we are getting rid of our sins, right? So we understand that, but sometimes when we are suffering, and then we just overreact, we just get angry, even though we know that. So how can we handle that? By getting angry, or we are not addressing the situation right, like how we are supposed to, so we're going to incur more sins for next life?
Yes, if we react wrongly, then we are simply creating more karma for us. So therefore, the solution is Chintan. Chintan. Chintan means we should not just read Srila Prabhupada's books, we should not just hear Krishna Katha from advanced devotees, but we should sit and we should do Chintan on what we heard, what we read. That develops our Vivek Buddhi. Chintan so Shravan and Swadhyay is one thing. That should lead to Chintan. Okay. Chintan of the Bhakti Siddhanta. Chintan of Radha and Krishna. By Chintan, we develop Vivek Buddhi. When things happen to us, we should have the intelligence to discriminate. Instead of reacting, how do I respond? How do I respond in a Krishna conscious way? So this appropriate response to provoking situations is a sign of spiritual advancement. And it comes from sincere sadhana and by Chintan. Many times sadhaks, they neglect this aspect of Chintan. Kitne class sune? I heard 3 classes today. Acha. But what Chintan did you? What did you learn? What Chintan did you do? So like that. We should do Chintan also, not just mechanically hearing. We should do Chintan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Then we have Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class. So Prabhuji, text 7 that we just did, in that it says that simply by hearing, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, love for Lord Krishna sprouts up at once. So I experience that, Krishna Prem is the goal. You just said that it's the ultimate sadhya. So is it talking about something else, initial stages of it? Because it's saying it sprouts up at once.
Sprout means small plant. It just sprouts immediately. But Prayojan is that it becomes so big that it goes beyond the coverings of the material universe, goes beyond Viraja river and reaches the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna and produces fruits and flowers for their pleasure. Like Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahaprabhu describes. But sprouting happens as soon as we begin the process of pure devotional service.
And Prabhuji, extinguishing the fire of lamentation, illusion and fearfulness. So like you said, devotees go through all these, and devotees are still, we still feel lamentation, we are illusioned and there is fear. So as we become more advanced or as we become purer, will these get extinguished completely?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, completely. And day before yesterday, we were discussing the story of the true story of His Grace Hayagriv Prabhu or Hayagriv Maharaj. He was saying that the 2 best things that happened to me is I met Prabhupada and I got cancer. I have not heard any of my patients in last 25 years say that to me. That the best thing has happened is I got cancer. Never. Only a devotee. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj says, this is so wonderful. I got stage 4 melanoma cancer. I will not exchange my situation with anybody else in this world. He's on hospice. He's got stage 4 cancer. So only a devotee gets over. Even His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj, Juhu temple. He went to Sri Mayapur Dham to leave his body when his health deteriorated. And even he said that in this material world, the 3-fold miseries are compulsory. Ādi Daivik Klesh, Adhyatmik Klesh, Ādi Bhautik Klesh. 3-fold miseries are compulsory in this world. But suffering is optional.
Prabhuji, I had actually said this to one devotee, and it was a wrong thing to say. I realized it later. She had cancer and she was suffering, and I was just in my foolishness, I was trying to She's a devotee herself. She passed away now. And I told her, Mataji, suffering is optional. And she told me, no, suffering is not. I mean, she was feeling so much pain that she said suffering is not optional. When the body goes through that pain, you can't think of Krishna. I mean, she was sharing her experience. So I think when we are not suffering, it's easy to say this, that suffering is optional. But even for a devotee is going through that pain, it's very hard. So that's why, here it says it comes up at once and it extinguishes. But I think it depends on our degree of surrender, and it may take us a long time to get to that stage.
Yeah, so exactly. So we should understand what His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj is saying here. So saying that suffering is optional. It is optional. For someone who is absorbed in Krishna, like Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, it is optional because Maharaj was in ecstasy. And if we are experiencing that, that means we have not really gone so deep in our practice of bhakti. But that doesn't mean that suffering is not optional. Yes, for the pure devotees, it is optional. Absolutely optional. Sripad Indra Prabhu, when he would do kirtan in the hot summer of Vrindavan Dham, you know how hot Shri Vrindavan Dham can get. You know those, what is that called? He would get a severe rash on his back because he would be sitting with his back to the sun, pumping on the harmonium and singing Harinam throughout the afternoon. There was no help for him. There was no covering, nothing. And he would get that prickly rash on his back from sunburn, from sweating. And he has an American body. It's not meant for such harsh sun and heat. But he was blissfully doing kirtan. Never complained. So devotees are like that. But yeah, one has to be careful when someone is going through suffering. We have to be a little careful what we tell them. We should more focus on the sweetness of Krishna, the sweet protection that Krishna gives, those examples. Because see, Mataji, we are not pure devotees, we are sadhaks. We are still working our way up on the ladder of bhakti. So it's okay. But at least you spoke the truth. Yeah, we have to speak it in a pleasing way, in a way that doesn't agitate the minds of others. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat. But nevertheless, you spoke the truth. And she, being a devotee, must have understood. But yeah, we have to be cautious also. I remember when one devotee went to Australia for preaching, and one very young devotee had left the body suddenly under very auspicious circumstances, in a way that ensures that one goes back to Godhead. But still, it was a very untimely death. So when this devotee went there, this devotee was telling me, I was very cautious not to talk about death in my visit to that holy place, because everything was like all the devotees were so tense and they were so sad. So we have to be sensitive also to what others are going through. But these truths are meant for us, that suffering is optional. I am suffering because I am not a devotee. I am a sadhak. I am not a bhakta. I am a sadhak. I am a practicing devotee. I am not an accomplished devotee yet. Like that. So we have to go deep in our practice. Because if one is tasting the sweetness of Krishna consciousness, one is tasting the sweetness of Krishna, one is tasting Krishna Leela, Krishna Nam, then it is supremely blissful. Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam. Right? So like that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Amrit Karan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. Actually, it's telling that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very magnanimous, and if we'll do sometimes some offense, he will just not take it very seriously. But in a Vrindavan Dham, Radharani is very serious. If we do some offense, then she's not allowing us to stay over there. So sometimes how the seriousness we need to stay in Vrindavan, and if you just explain it a little bit.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita how to live in Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Jagadananda Pandit. He gives many instructions that you respect the Brajvasis from a distance. Their way of worshipping Krishna is different. So don't get bewildered. Don't climb on Govardhan mountain. You can circumambulate, but don't climb. But the most important instruction that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives Jagadananda Pandit regarding staying in Vrindavan is, you live in the constant association of Srila Sanatana Goswami. Right? Always be with Srila Sanatana Goswami. Why? Because Srila Sanatana Goswami is a more advanced devotee than Jagadananda Pandit. And Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama. Expansion of Radharani, but Dwarka. And who is Sanatana Goswami? He is Lavanga Manjari. He is the most confidential maidservant of Srimati Radharani. They are non-different from Radharani. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, non-different from Radharani. They are so one with Radharani in their intimacy of service that they are non-different from Srimati Radharani. So you stay with Srila Sanatana Goswami. So the lesson is that yes, we can go to Shri Vrindavan Dham and stay, but one must be under the guidance of an advanced Vraj Rasik Vaishnava. That is mandatory. Otherwise, we cannot live. We will simply commit offenses. If we commit offenses, Dham will kick us out. And this also we have seen so many times. People are not able to live in Vrindavan. They go with great enthusiasm, but then they come up with a dozen excuses why they want to leave Dham. And then they leave. But those who stay back, they make great spiritual advancement. So therefore, one must not, Mahaprabhu says, don't criticize, become anindak. Yeah, that Chaitanya Bhagavat Mahaprabhu says, become anindak. Don't criticize and just do your bhajan under the guidance of a senior Vaishnava. Jao tumi Bhagavat padho, Vaishnava rasthane. So like that we have to do. And even in Mayapur Dham, Shri Dham Mayapur, we have to be careful. We have the example of Shachi Mata. And Shri Advaita Acharya Mahaprabhu would not, was uncompromising. So Mahaprabhu also is strict. He is very merciful, no doubt. But Vaishnava Aparad, Mahaprabhu will not tolerate. And the most common problem why devotees get kicked out of the Dham is Vaishnava Aparad. When we do Dosh Darshan, when we do Vaishnava Ninda. So we have to be careful whether in Shri Navadvip Dham or Shri Mayapur Dham. They are non-different Dham. Vrindavan Dham is Madhuryamay Dham. And Shri Navadvip Dham is Audaryamay Dham. Very merciful Dham. So like that. So whichever, we should follow our heart and we should follow what our senior Vaishnava is guiding us. Either we can stay in Shri Dham Mayapur or Shri Dham Vrindavan or Jagannath Puri Dham. These three Dhams mainly. But Vrindavan Dham, any Dham we stay, we must follow the instructions of Mahaprabhu. We should live under the guidance of Srila Sanatana Goswami, which means we should live under the guidance of advanced devotee. Okay. That takes
I have one more.
Yes.
I like to just share and also question. Like I have seen Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj in Gitanagari. We went from Philly to Gitanagari to participate in Rath Yatra festival over there. And he had a cancer in his leg, but still he was in ecstatic mood. It's like, I'm also Sridhar Maharaj, I was in Mayapur. And before departure, he actually did the Prabhupada Guru Puja. And it was like so, I could not believe that how they are always in Krishna conscious, always in ecstatic mood. How it is like, sometimes if the cancer patient has a lot of pain and a lot of troubles now, but they are not in bodily platform, maybe, I don't know. And most of the a lot of devotees, and one Maharaj also, I have heard that recently he had a colon cancer and is affected by colon cancer. So I don't know, mostly Maharaj and a lot of proper disciples are affected by cancer. Why it is happening like that?
So cancer is very common now, and it is going to become more and more common, not just for devotees, but for everyone. Even in my general patient population, I'm seeing cancers are extremely common. Everybody will get cancer in their life if we simply live long enough. If we simply live long enough, every one of us will get cancer eventually. Some cancer will get us. Women will get breast cancer, men will get prostate cancer. If we simply live long enough, some cancer will take place in the body. Common are breast and prostate cancers, but there are so many that are like dozens and dozens of cancers, and eventually all of us are going to get it because there is so much pollution, so much chemicals and pollution which cause mutations. These are all carcinogens in the environment that we are exposed to. Even the simple plastic that we are touching, this is a carcinogen. The paint, everything, this is all harmful for the body. All these radiations, vibrations, I am talking on Zoom through Wi-Fi, all these, they're everywhere. We are just completely contaminated in Kali Yuga. So not just for devotees, but for everyone. The incidence of cancer is increasing and it is going to continue to increase. There's nothing we can do. Best is to know that we are like in a room, we are in a gas chamber. We are in the gas chamber of Hitler. Everyone is going to die. Every bubble is going to pop. Some bubble is going to pop today, some is going to pop tomorrow. We are all going to die. Either heart attack, stroke, cancer, accident, shootouts, old age, but it doesn't make any difference. Few years here and there, we are all going to die. Best is Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusha Param. With Tivrata, with intensity, determination, Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairyat, we have to worship Krishna. We have to worship Krishna. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. We should give up everything with a sense of urgency, leave everything else, and just worship Guru and Krishna. There is no other way. Harer Naam, Harer Naam, Harer Naam Kevalam. Kalo Nastiva, Nastiva, Nastiva Tirannata. So we should, all these are waking calls for us. That His Holiness Kadamba Kanan Swami.
Yes, Kadamba Kanan Maharaj.
Yeah, being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Yeah. And it's happening everywhere. So these are all wake-up calls for us that we have to follow in the footsteps of our acharyas and become serious devotees. It pains the heart when we see ISKCON devotees practicing Krishna consciousness, taking it very lightly. No, we should associate with sincere, fired-up devotees, and we should be fired up. We should be sincere. We should be enthusiastic to chant, to hear, to purify ourselves, and to do seva. Because this human life is very rare. We should take Krishna consciousness very seriously. On emergency.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's really wonderful. Your realization and your presentation and expression, everything is so amazing and so devotional. And so.
Just repeating Srila Prabhupada's words. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Shama Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my husband, he hears your classes and he wants to ask a question. Prabhuji, can he ask now?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your amazing classes filled with wisdom and prema. It is really transforming our hearts. Prabhuji, today we spoke about causeless mercy. So this is one concept that is like a bug in my head. We know Krishna as Kripa Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Patita Pavan. So he is extending his mercy to everyone. So that is itself causeless mercy. But then we also hear that causeless mercy is reserved for only a few people. And we cannot aspire to demand that causeless mercy like that. Why is there so much emphasis on causeless mercy?
Causeless mercy is received from Krishna because see, Krishna is ye yathamam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajam meham. Correct? As we approach Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So causeless mercy will come when our devotional service is also causeless. When the bhakti is ahaituki, then we get ahaituki kripa from Krishna. So Krishna's kripa, Bhagwan baras rahe hai. Krishna is showering his mercy on everybody. But only selected few will get flooded with that rain shower. There are many devotees who hide in the house. They don't get wet. Although Bhagwan baras rahe hai, although Krishna is showering his mercy, they don't get touched because they are hiding. Vishwam gaurarase magnam sparshopi mam na bhavat vanchitosmi 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 na samshaya. One very great devotee, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, is crying. He's saying, Vishwam Gaura Rase Magnam. This whole world is Magna in Gaura Rasa by Gaura Kripa. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradaya. They have got Krishna Prem. Everyone is Magna in Prem. Vishwam Gaura Rase Magnam Sparshopi Mam Nabhavat. But I have not been touched. Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi na samshaya. I have been deprived. He's crying in his humility. So if we don't we have to choose to get flooded. Krishna is giving, we have to receive. So if someone gets some sadhu sangha, if someone gets Krishna Nam, someone gets Diksha, this is Kripa. But this is not Param Kripa. Param Kripa means to be lying on a bed in Gita Nagari with stage 4 cancer, with pathological fractures, with tumors protruding from the skin. You have lost 50% of your body weight, one of your leg is amputated, and you are in excruciating pain, and you are telling, I will not exchange my situation with anybody else. I am very blissful. This is Ahaituki Kripa. This is because causeless mercy also has got gradations. One causeless mercy is paap maaf ho gaye. Kansa ke paap maaf ho gaye. He held Devki's hair. Krishna also held Kansa's hair, pulled him down, beat him to death. So he got his punishment, he was purified. That is one level of Kripa. Sins are gone. But the ultimate Kripa is when Krishna gives himself to the devotee. That chalo, from today I am yours. Now you do whatever you say, and I will be your humble servant. When Krishna would go to the gopis and beg makhan from them, the gopis would say, chal naach ke dikhao. Dance and show me. Then I will give you. And then Krishna is dancing for them to get one little piece of Navaneet. Navaneet, a golam, one ball of butter to get. Krishna is dancing. And here we are dancing to Krishna's tunes in the material world. And there Krishna is dancing for one Navaneet, a golam, one ball of butter. That is causeless Kripa, when Krishna gives himself. So there are different levels of Kripa. But when our bhakti is Ahaituki, then we get Krishna's mercy also Ahaituki, causeless mercy. And that is supreme mercy, where we even forget that Krishna is God. Where we just love Krishna. Like when you go to Vrindavan, the devotees will tell you in Parikrama, don't ask Krishna for anything. Krishna is not God, Baba. You have to bless Krishna. Lala. He's Lala. He will go to the forest with his cows. He will get hurt. So many demons are attacking him. You have to bless him. You are big. You have to bless him that he comes back safe in the evening. That is prem. Itna, the prem has increased so much that now we even forget that he is God. Now he is Amito Tomar, Tume to Amar. You are mine and I am yours. Bas. Nothing else matters. When Draupadi her sari was being pulled by Dushasan, Draupadi could not feel Dushasan pulling her sari. All she could feel was Krishna's embrace. Because Krishna had become the sari and wrapped himself around Draupadi, and he was embracing his sister, Draupadi, with love. And all Draupadi could feel in the Kuru Sabha was Krishna's embrace. This is the highest Kripa. So Kripa was given to Jarasandha also. He died in front of Krishna at the hands of Bhimsen. Okay, he got mukti. And that is one level of Kripa. But what Kripa is this? Where Krishna is becoming your sari. Krishna is becoming your sari and embracing you. And nobody can see it. Only Draupadi could feel it. Haribol. So this Kripa is given to Sharanagat Bhaktas, those who are surrendered. So therefore, the path is, Prabhupada is writing, it's path of Sharanagati. Sharanagati. Sweetest word is Sharanagati. Krishna, I am yours. Nothing else matters now. Just you and me. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, that means that it is not that causeless mercy is completely beyond me. I can attract causeless mercy if I can do that kind of Ahaituki Bhakti.
Yes, Sharanagati. Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahara tahara prarthana shune Shri Nanda Kumar Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive doya kori Swaparshad Shviya Dhama Saha Avatari Atyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Bare Dana Shikhaye Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana. If there is Sharanagati, Krishna will listen to our prayers. Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahar tahara prarthana shune Shri Nanda Kumar and Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jibe doya kori Swaparshad Suya Dham Saha Avatari. And what is Mahaprabhu doing? Atyanta Durla Prem Kori Bare Dan Shikhaye Sharanagati Bhakatera Pran. If we have Sharanagati, he will give you the most rare thing, that is Krishna Prem. Atyanta Durla Prem Kori Bare Dan. That's why Dan. It's not that we can purchase it. That's why it is Kripa. It is Dan. You can purchase a car by giving money. But if we have no money and the dealership says, take this car, oh, that is kripa. So we don't deserve Krishna Prem. We cannot purchase Krishna Prem by japa tapa. Milahina raghupati bina anuraga koti janma japa tapa bahiraga. We cannot purchase, but still Krishna is giving. Therefore, it is called dan. Dan. Atyanta durlabha prema kori bare dan shikhaya sharanagati bhakatera pran. This is our life. Sharanagati. Okay, Prabhuji?
Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dasosmi. Dasosmi. Hare Krishna. And last question, the two questions. Divya Mataji and then Ananta Vilas Prabhu.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
You spoke about the material association in the beginning, and my question was how you respond to material friends and association, because what happens is when in a household, when not everyone are devotees, we end up being in material association with material friends, and they do cause a lot of pain because they, it's like there's something else on face, something else behind. You think that they are your friends, but with a small misunderstanding, they come and attack you like so mercilessly, and then they, target you for the religion and for the path you've taken. So I'm just wondering, then it just makes you realize that, okay, I thought these people were my friends, but they were just social friends, because they have all these negative things in their heart about me. So I'm just wondering, this kind of association, should we just completely give up?
There is a story that we tell children, the story of the monkey and the crocodile. You have heard that story? Monkey and the crocodile. So there was a monkey, he used to live on a tree, and a fruit tree. And there was a crocodile. They used to come. And the crocodile cannot climb on the tree. So they would chat. And they became friends by talking. One day the crocodile said that today my wife has cooked a feast for you. She's inviting you for lunch because you always keep feeding me all these fruits. Today I want to reciprocate. So the monkey is a devotee. He's very simple-hearted. Saralta hi Vaishnavta. He says, okay, I'll come. How do I come? Where is your house? Oh, my house is in the middle of the river. So you jump on my back, I will take you there. And then we'll give you the feast. So the monkey jumps on the back of his friend, so-called friend, crocodile. And the crocodile goes in the middle of the river and says, ha ha ha, now I'm going to eat you up. I don't have any wife and there is no feast for you. I'm going to eat you up. Arre! The monkey is very intelligent. Jai bhaje Krishna, say bada chatur. Devotee of Krishna are very intelligent. He says, Arre, you should have told me before now that you're going to eat me. The most nutritious, tastiest part of my body is my heart. But I didn't know you're going to eat me. So I left my heart on the tree. So take me back. I will bring my heart and then you can eat me. Otherwise, my whole body is very bitter. But when the heart is there, my whole body becomes very sweet, very tasty, very nutritious. So you eat me, but with the heart. So let me get my heart. Take me back. The foolish crocodile took the monkey back. The monkey with one jump climbed on the tree and then showed his thumb. Tenga. I am not coming. You're a fool. You pretended to be my friend, but actually you want to finish me off. You want to eat me. I will not come. Now go. From today, I will not talk to you. So this monkey is a devotee. The tree is Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namah. The tree is the Kalpataru devotees, wish fulfilling tree of devotee, Vaishnava Sangha. And the crocodile is the material energy, material friend, materialistic friends. They pretend to be friends, but actually they are going to drown us in this material world. They are going to drown us. They are materialistic friends because they cannot give us Krishna. And only with Krishna we can cross over. Samashritaye padapallavaplavam mahat padam punyasho murare bhavam budirvatsa param padam yat vipadam natesham. Only by Krishna's mercy we can cross over this material ocean. But these materialistic friends, because they don't have Krishna, they are going to drown and they are going to drown us also. So we should not give our heart to them. Occasionally we may talk to them, but we should not give our heart like the monkey. We should not give our heart to them and we should not associate with them too much. We should come back to the tree of Vancha Kalpataru, the association of devotees, and we should stay there. So for whatever our worldly duties are there, we can talk to them. We can keep our interactions brief and professional. But as far as having a heart-to-heart intimate relationship is concerned, that we should have only with devotees. We should not get influenced by material association. We should get influenced by senior devotees, advanced devotees. That is the way of perfection. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. I mean, I also wonder now, within the devotees also, I see them quarreling. And, sometimes
Devotees are of
talking bad
different,
about.
yes, devotees are of different levels. Just like cricket players. There are different levels of cricket players. There are cricket players who are playing in the gully cricket. There are cricket players, they are playing in the ground. There are cricket players who are playing Ranji Trophy. There are cricket players who are playing international cricket. There are people who are playing basketball in their front yard on the basketball hoop. There are basketball players who play for their school and colleges. There are professional basketball players. And then there is finally NBA players of basketball. They are the highest. So just like basketball players are of different levels, devotees are also of different levels. There are some practicing devotees, there are neophyte devotees, there are more advanced, and then most advanced. So we should associate with devotees who are very advanced, very sincere devotees. That is association. That is friendship. We should cultivate friendship with such devotees. Devotees who are not so sincere, devotees who still have material tendencies like cheating, lying, politics, we should keep a respectful distance from them. We respect them because they are chanting Hare Krishna, but we don't want to associate with them. We don't want to give our heart to them. And we don't want to keep them as our role models. Giving our heart, cultivating friendship, serving, and associating, we should do with advanced devotees. Advanced devotees. And if we are sincere, Prabhupada will put us in touch with advanced devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very late. Anantavilas Prabhu, last question, quickly.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so very much for this such nectarian class. Who actually we are all family we are hearing, and my wife had a question. Anupriya had a question. So her question, Prabhu, you mentioned about the offenses in Sri Vrindavan Dham and Sri Mayapur Dham, like how we should be careful. So her question was, like, okay, are there anything applicable for Jagannath Puri Dham also, Prabhu? If you can share enlighten us around that, Prabhu.
Applicable regarding the rules of staying in Jagannath Puri?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Jagannath Puri is a Vipralamba Kshetra. You have to understand that Shri Kshetra is Vipralamba Kshetra. Shri is Radharani. Jagannath Puri Dham is called Shri Kshetra. It's Vipralamba Kshetra. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj says. So if one wants to stay in Shri Jagannath Puri Dham, one has to completely follow and be completely sold out to Shri Śrīmad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. He is the ultimate authority on the Jagannath Tattva. Shri Kshetra is Vipralamba Kshetra. One should read books Mathura meets Vrindavan and Embankment of Separation, specifically Embankment of Separation. Then one can understand what is the Mahima of Shri Jagannath Puri Dham. So it is the Vipralamba Kshetra where Jagannath is feeling separation from Srimati Radharani. Jagannath is feeling separation from Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jagannath Puri Dham is Dwarka Dham. And Gundicha is Shri Vrindavan Dham. And we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we belong to Vrindavan. And our Dham is Vrindavan, our Upasana is Vrindavan. Our Rupa Manjari is always in Vrindavan. And she is everything. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sai Mora Sampada. Sai Mera Mora Bhajana Pujana. So Shri Rupa Manjari is everything for us. Shri Rupa Manjari is always serving Srimati Radharani in Shri Vrindavan Dham, at the Rasa Sthali, at Shri Radha Kund, at Barsana Dham. So this is our ultimate abode. And Jagannath is in Dwarka. He's feeling separation from Radharani. He's feeling separation from Shri Vrindavan Dham. So we should live in Jagannath Puri Dham and mitigate Jagannath's feeling of separation from Radharani by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Yugal Mantra, by glorifying Shri Vrindavan Dham, and by wanting to bring Jagannath to Gundicha, which is Shri Vrindavan Dham. So we have to live in Jagannath Puri Dham as Radha Dasis, as the maid servants of Srimati Radharani, doing Radharani's mission. We are on mission. And that was the mood of Mahaprabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri in the mood of Radharani. He's standing behind the Garud Stamba and taking darshan of Jagannath. He's not looking at Baladeva and Subhadra, because Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radha Bhav. Radha Bhav Diti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. So he's in the mood of Radharani. He's standing behind Garud Stamba and he's looking at Jagannath. Only Jagannath. Because Jagannath is Shyam Sundar. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radha Bhav. And Baldev is the elder brother. So there is some sankoch, there is hesitation. So I will not look at Baldev, I will not look at Subhadra, who is the younger sister of Shyam Sundar. Only Shyam Sundar. Only Shyam Sundar. So we should go to Jagannath, in front of Jagannath, and chant, Radhe, Radhe, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jagannath Chalo, let's go to Vrindavan. That is the mood of Radharani, that is the mission of Radharani. So with this mood of separation, Vipralambha, we should live in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. Is that okay? Anuradha Mataji? Hare Krishna. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham is such a glorious dham. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there. Gambhira is there. Our Thakur Haridas, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, his bhajan kutir is there at Siddha Bakul. A wonderful Rath Yatra, Nam Sankirtan took place in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath is there. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Gopinath, for whom Lord Brahmaji offered the Brahma Samhita prayers, is present in Jagannath Puri Dham as Tota Gopinath. And Srimati Radharani, in the form of Shri Gadadhar Pandit, eternally lives with Tota Gopinath. So Jagannath Puri is filled with amazing. Today is the tithi of Srimati Ganga Mata Goswamini. Today, Srimati Ganga Mata Goswamini. She lived in Jagannath Puri Dham. And she has the Shweta Ganga Kunda there. Shweta Ganga Kund in Jagannath Puri Dham. Such wonderful Vaishnavi, Ganga Mata Goswamini, one of our acharyas, one of our gurujans. So Jagannath Puri Dham is a eternal dham. And Jagannath Puri Dham, we should not think is only on the earth planet. There is Jagannath Puri Dham in Golok Vrindavan also. There's not many devotees know. It's a fact. Jagannath is eternal. Jagannath Puri Dham is eternal. In Golok Vrindavan, there is Mayapur, and there is Puri. Shri Kshetra is there also. Krishna feels Vipralambha. Some separation from Radharani there also. So this is a very beautiful tattva, but one has to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, especially Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj's embankment of separation. Without this, one cannot understand Jagannath Puri. Is that okay? Ananta Vilas Prabhu and Anuradha Mataji.
Thank you so very much.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop now. Again, it's been 2 hours.